Super Bowl.
The final word.
She started going at me about it, man. And it lasted a couple minutes. After that, she came back and bought me a Coke.
You just heard that right. The OC is complaining about somebody from Philly.
The final word.
Dirty Philly.
Yes, indeed. All right, so we got another one. Big James, what we say? It's a what?
It's another one.
Another one.
Let's go. Yes, indeed. We have no other than the man himself, the legend.
Man, the legend.
Can we call him the legend, the Godfather?
Yeah, we can call
The legend.
Call him a legend.
The OG.
The final
The OG.
word.
We got two legends in the house. The original Clarence Hill. Ow!
Yes, sir.
And
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
oh, we doing good. And we have
Final word.
CFT. Let's go.
The new legend.
Ooh,
The legend in the
Final
making.
Let's go.
I ain't a legend.
Legend in the making, bro.
we got to brag on you, CFT.
We got to brag on you,
I'm just saying,
dog.
look how I be grinding. I ain't no legend yet.
Hey,
man,
hey,
messing
you
it
was
up,
that
messing
wicked
it
in
up.
gear, dog. Don't do that.
Now you
Give me
are
your flowers, big
because
dog.
we said you a
I
legend, bro.
appreciate y'all. I do.
You feel me?
The final word.
The final
Yes, indeed. All right, so we said we was gonna talk about something.
word.
Because
The
we said we
final
gonna keep it
word.
all the way real today.
The
all right?
final word.
The final
Today
word.
was supposed to happen. I want
The
y'all to hear me out.
final word.
So today I met a beautiful lady by the name of Jasmine. I met her today, okay? And I'm talking about like just blessed, right? Just perfect, right? Do I have my button?
The final
Perfect.
word.
Yes, I do. Perfect.
You got fire.
So you know I start showing out. Hey, I'm a YouTuber. And I have, listen, I name dropped Clarence Hill on today.
Probably sound like that too, didn't you? You sound just like that.
Yep, just like that.
Hey, now y'all,
Just
y'all
like that.
Listen,
That's
y'all
how he
not
sound.
finna
Just like
clown
that.
me.
You
You
sound
not.
just like that. Yup.
The
Act,
final
hey,
word.
come on, act right, act right.
All right.
Did she say, I know Clarence? She said, Clarence helped me get my job.
The final
It was
word.
all respectful, but I'm telling you, she was beautiful. So I said, Clarence, I would have helped her too. All right, Clarence, what you got to say about that?
Listen, Jasmine is beautiful. She's always been beautiful. So this actually goes back to the
The
Cowboys.
final word.
Okay.
The final word.
And early in my career, back in the olden days, back in the aughts of the 2000s or whatever else, when the internet was first coming around and we all had dial-up at home. I used to go to Hooters to work because Hooters was one of the first restaurants,
Yeah.
the first restaurants that had free wireless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So and one of the, I mean, everybody got it, but back in the olden days, everybody didn't have free wireless.
Right.
And Hooters had free wireless. So I used to go to Hooters and just during the off season, do my free agent calls and write from Hooters because they had free wireless.
Yeah.
And I'm, just being there, I met some guys there, some businessmen there who go there all the time. They used to go there for lunch and stay for about 3 hours. And so I used to always meet them up there. And so I would be a regular at Hooters in Arlington, right by the stadium.
Yep.
All the time. And so obviously you at Hooters a lot, you meet the employees and the waitresses and everything else. And there was a young lady, Jasmine was one of the people I met. And first of all, you say she found her mama fine. I met her mama. Mama fine. Since we keeping it real.
Mama
Keep
fine.
it real.
And we keeping it all the way real.
But,
The mama fine.
no, she was from Atlanta. She moved here from she
Yeah,
went to Clark
George.
for a couple of years and
Uh-huh.
came here from Atlanta, big Cowboy fan. But all she had on her resume was restaurants.
Yeah.
The Hooters and some of the other restaurants like Hooters, and she was trying to get out of the Hooters business and get a real job. And so I had a friend that worked. He was like a GM over apartment leasing, and
Yep.
so I helped her get a job. Leasing apartments, and she took it from there. She was a smart girl. She took it from there.
Yeah.
She obviously became a manager, and she's in commercial leasing and everything, and she's doing really well. So yeah, I helped her and a couple other people get jobs out of Hooters doing apartment leasing, and so they can get something else on the resume. But she's a sweet girl. She's married. She's got a family. She is grown out of Hooters. But yeah, I used to be up in Hooters and just being friendly guy, talking to people, helping people.
Let the Lord use you. Let the Lord use you.
He is for the people.
Writing about the Cowboys, I was helping people.
I
was helping people, helping folks.
Let's go. Oh man. Oh boy. I'm telling you, I said this is supposed to happen today.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Kinda check or something. I've been really in the field, let up. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Kinda check or something. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
What's up? I see y'all in the building.
Ones, I need them fives, need them tens. I need that change to the safe. Got blues inside.
Wayne Brown,
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play. Charge it to the game. I'm with L, I'm with T Black, I'm with
Mickey. Michael Lockhart, Big Santana, I see you.
Still the same, I switching sides, now it's about loyalty.
Big Chris in the house.
You switch sides off
Matt
for the bag, and that's worth more
Pastor
to me.
Child.
I mix Nike
How you doing,
designer,
Pastor?
I experiment.
Swain.
You just rock
All
what's
the
on the
executives.
shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Let's go. All right, so kicking it off. All right, so we got Clarence Hill in the building. We got CFT in the building. We go just kind of jump right into it real hot. This is coming from 105.3 The Fan. We have the link in the description. We follow the fair use principles over here. Everybody go get their credit over here at the Final Word. So here we go, kicking it off with something you said on the Fan. So here we go.
Undrafted free agent fullback Hunter Lupke, from North Dakota State, who got $200,000 in guarantees from the Cowboys. He was working with the veterans down on one end, and not with the rookies. So he was working with the veterans as fullbacks. So it seems like they have a plan for him, to make an impact as a fullback. So there's something there with him. So keep an eye on Hunter Lupke.
Yeah. So you was talking about Hunter Lupke as a fullback. And Clarence, just to kick it off, one of the things that I said in one of my video breakdowns, I actually talked about that's something to look for to see if the Dallas Cowboys was going to be really trying to implement Brian Schottenheimer's run game, which was always fullback dependent. So I just want to first kind of get your insight into that, with you seeing Hunter working with the first team and kind of seeing if you could get any clues or any insight into that, Clarence.
Well, two things. The West Coast offense has always been, whether it's Schottenheimer or even, McCarthy, the fullback has always been a big part of that, going back to, those 49ers days with Roger Craig. I mean, the fullback has always been part of what they want to do. But interesting on Hunter is that, yes, he's a guy that, if you remember in college, he did everything in college and certainly was a tough runner. But one thing when I was talking to Steven about at the last mini camp, he told me and told us back at the owners meeting that they were still looking for a big back. They even after signing Rhodes, they were still looking for a big back, short yardage back. And so we were grilling on running back. Obviously, everybody was talking about the Zeke stuff, and and I asked him about if they were still needing a big back, if they're looking for a big back, and he volunteered that Hunter Lupke could fill that role.
Whoa!
That short yardage back. He brought that up. He volunteered that himself, that Hunter could fill that role. So, again, they paid a lot of money, a lot of guaranteed money. I think they have plans for Hunter.
There it is. All right, Big.
I mean, that's news. Because we've been talking about this, Clarence, about the running back room and how it's been a little bit shaky. Maybe in our opinion, might not be the strongest position right now. So for to hear you say Hunter Luepke has a plan, that's news to me. But I'll go ahead and just jump out there and ask the question since you're on here. You mentioned Hunter Luepke. But we all been hearing about the Zeke thing. We see the backs with Dowdell. We see Ronald Moore. We see Malik Davis. We see these guys, but I don't know if their confidence is expired, if something may happen with Tony Pollard of that nature. Is the Zeke thing a real thing in your opinion? And is there any other options, or were they trying to look for maybe after camp to probably look for an option that route?
Yeah, I don't think the Zeke thing is a real thing. I think Jerry's just keeping it alive, and he's not going to say no because he's never going to close the door. It's almost like the Odell Beckham stuff, and when Jerry just was the only one talking about it, and Jerry's the only one talking about it, and he's answering questions, he's bringing up because Jerry likes to hear the Cowboys in the news, and you bring up Zeke to we're at the combine. And Jerry's talking about Odell Beckham, and I love his mama. I met his mama at the NFL honors. Now, the Cowboys and their people have not talked to Odell Beckham since he visited in November. Okay, they had not reached out to Odell Beckham since the end of the season. Nobody was talking to Odell Beckham, but Jerry was keeping that going in everybody's mind because they kept the Cowboys. Let's lead on Sports Center. Let's it's the headlines and papers and whatever else. It keeps you talking, even though quietly behind the scenes they were working on the trade. For Cooks, and that's the only receiver they really went after in the offseason was Cooks. So you're going back to the Zeke thing, and keep in mind the Cowboys never offered Zeke a pay cut. They never offered an opportunity to get a pay cut. Okay, if they really wanted to bring him back, keep him, they could have done that from the beginning. They never really offered him an opportunity to get a pay cut, and certainly at that time, most reasonable minds figured, well, Zeke's going to sign somewhere else. Zeke's going to get an opportunity somewhere else. Nobody in their right minds thought that we'd be in June and Zeke would not have a job. So early on when he was saying, we'll give, no one, we always thought Zeke would be somewhere else. And so it's a surprise to everybody that he has not had a job, but that's just the way the running back market is. Leonard Fournette doesn't have a job. There's a lot of running backs out there, that don't have a job. I mean, I remember all the Dalvin Cook talk, and he's been cut, and ain't nobody bit yet, So that's part of the running back market and what's going on. But I think that when there was a lot of finality when the Cowboys initially cut Zeke, talking about how they wanted to get this opportunity to Tony. Even Mike McCarthy talked about moving on with Zeke was about giving Tony this opportunity. I don't know how bringing Zeke back helps that and changes that. Certainly, if someone gets hurt, anything could happen, but that's not the plan. That has not been the plan to bring Zeke back, no matter what Jerry has said.
Oh, man.
Hey, just to finish off of that a little bit, one thing, Clarence, and then I'll pass it over. I've been wanting Cook from Dalvin Cook, and I know we already been saying the money's been allocated. They're probably not going to go that route. But would there be any thought of that if he has a reasonable price?
Who?
Zeke.
Dalvin Cook.
Oh, Cook. Oh,
Oh,
Dalvin Cook.
you're talking about Dalvin Cook. You're talking about. I mean, I would love that too. I mean, Pollard and Cook. Cook is not washed. And Cook, still had 1,000-yard season. He's still a Pro Bowl back last year. You watched Cook last year. He can still take it to the house. Still got juice in his legs. The thing is, Cook still thinks he's going to get $10 million.
Right.
Obviously,
right.
As we get closer to the season, maybe he's waiting for somebody to get hurt. When the money comes down, he has a different perspective. But I think that's more about what it is they certainly don't think they can meet his salary demands, and they're not paying two running backs $10 million. They're already paying Tony Pollard $10 million. But if the money comes down, certainly I think it's something the Cowboys will be interested in and should be interested in.
Listen,
Yeah, I've done a little bit of work on the North Dakota back. I mean, and I think that he shows talent. He shows the ability to catch the football out of the backfield, to be a sufficient runner inside. But my only question about him is that I really want to see him in the regular season and also in preseason, because I'm not sure if all his great tape, I'm not sure if it translates to the NFL, and if he'll have that degree of effectiveness or even, half as much. I'm not sure. But definitely on tape and on his highlights, he looks really good. I could see the thought process that he is, a good inside back. But I don't know. To me, it's a wait and see.
There's no doubt. It's all a wait to see with all of them. And again, my only point is that they have a plan for him. Obviously, whether that, they had a plan for Jalen Tolbert last year. It didn't work out.
Right.
They had a plan for Michael Gallup. It didn't work out last year. But the question is, they have a plan. They really like Hunter, and they have a plan for him.
And real quick, I do want to say Kevin Gray is in the building. Thank you, Mr. Kevin Gray. Make sure that y'all also support Mr. Kevin Gray on the Get Right. They got something rocking over there on 105.3 The Fan.
Absolutely.
All the time. So we always want to, I call him the president. Like, I love how he speaks his mind. He's somebody that's with it. I love it. He's not afraid, and he says what's on his heart. But CFT, what you got?
I call him BT on the Fan. So.
Ooh, BT. Why you call him BT? Yeah, we want to know.
Ain't that the black show on the Fan?
Wait. Now I get it. Makes sense. I get it.
Said, bruh.
Oh, I got that. You know I got bruh. Where's that?
Nah,
bruh.
I mean, everything I heard Clarence say and what you guys been saying, it's two words, man. It's training camp. We not gonna have what's going on in the running back room outside of Tony Pollard iron until training camp. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It just sounds like they want to wait, and I feel like they might have an emergency, like pull a lever in case of emergency plan that we won't be privy to. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna see what these backs look like in training camp, and if it ain't looking right, they gonna reach for their emergency.
Definitely.
I don't know who that may be.
It gotta be an emergency plan. It has to be.
I don't know. I don't think it's.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's Zeke anymore. Even though I did think it was Zeke, I thought that was the emergency plan. So I don't know who it is, but I know that the training camp ain't looking right. It sounds like they're going somewhere else.
Ooh, go ahead, Clarence.
Two things. It still could be the emergency plan, but that's not the plan. I mean, obviously anything can happen. And there's no guarantees anything, and certainly, when injuries happen or something, then you revisit, what you're looking at. I also thought when they made the change at running back coach, they made an offensive line coach, the running back coach. I didn't think that was a good fit for Zeke anyway. You're not going to have a veteran back like this and this novice coach, who has no skins on the wall, coaching running backs or anything like that. That was, to me, that was a questionable. Yeah. That's a Mike McCarthy move. That's his boy.
Yeah.
But, you get rid of Skip Pete. You go from Gary Brown and Skip Pete and known running back coaches who have coached running backs to 1,000 yards. And, the running backs, the way, Skip Pete handled the running back situation last year, getting Zeke to take a lesser role, having Tony Pollard have a breakout season. I didn't see the need for the change. But when you make that change to a young coach, a novice coach, you don't really want a veteran like Zeke in there.
Right.
That
makes sense.
What's he going to tell Zeke? What can he teach Zeke?
Right. Yeah.
What can he teach Zeke?
That doesn't sound like a fit. Right. And that doesn't sound, I agree. Absolutely.
Clarence.
Yes,
how you feeling about the two young backs in the room, Malik Davis and Deuce Vaughn? You think they're gonna have any what's your faith level in them making any impact this year?
I always say to me and Jocko, it ain't my job to have faith. I'm a reporter. I know you guys are fans, so you guys are gonna lean heavy into positivity. You're gonna lean heavy into the glass half full. I've been here around a long time. I'm not into the glass half full. I mean, you got to show me. And so, Malik certainly showed some stuff when he got a chance to play last year. I don't know what happened in the playoff game where he didn't play. Certainly, there are different conversations about why he didn't get a lot of run in the playoff game after Tony Pollard got hurt. But he showed some stuff last year. Is he a guy you can rely on? Can he do that on a regular basis and split those carries with Pollard? We'll see. You got Rojo there. Certainly, and everybody knows Vaughn is intriguing, but you can't. There's no guarantees there. We love Vaughn. We love the story. We love his dad. I've been watching the guy since his freshman year in college, and certainly coming out of high school, and what he's done. He is strong. He's a great returner. He makes people miss, but we'll have to see. We've seen a lot of small backs who did a lot in college. You remember? And I can't even think of their names. I've been trying to come up with names. A couple of backs that played for Iowa State, years ago, who were small backs who were great in college, 1,000-yard rushers, who didn't make it in the pros. Everybody wants to talk about the other kid from Kansas State. My mind is gone blank. Sproles, yes. But there are a lot of small backs who were small, Sproles-like size who didn't make it.
Right.
So it's easy to say he can be the next Sproles, and you hope he can be. But, until we see it happen, it's still a question. It's the reason why he, after everything he did at Kansas State, he was a 6th-round pick. But that's the thing about the minicamp. But with a lot of these guys, you don't know because they basically did two-hand touch the whole OTAs and minicamp.
Yes.
Yep. That's all they did was two-hand touch.
Two-hand touch.
Somebody looked good. Nobody looked good. I mean, you can't tell who looked good because it was not football. There were some guys who was in the right position, but we don't know what they're going to do until the pads come on until you really play football. A lot of guys can be in the right position. Like, I was – it's because I always mess with my coworkers because everybody was loving Dennis Houston last year because he was in the right position.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he was in the right position.
He was in the right position. He knew where to go. He was in the right position. Oh, he getting run with the first team. He's in the right position. Made no play.
The lights came.
Hold on.
I mean, we watched
hell no.
Being honest.
No, I love it.
They made no plays in training camp. But he was in the right position. He was in the right position.
He was in the right position.
He was right. He knew where to go.
Oh man. Oh man. I love it. I want to ask you a question since we're on the running back room. What's your thoughts on the short game, red zone, and closing out?
Well, I think that people don't give Tony Pollard enough credit for being a strong inside runner.
Okay.
People
so
do
you
not.
Trust
if you
that?
Look at his numbers.
You trust him on the short.
Tony Pollard is not a small back. He has this image of being tiny. He's not tiny.
No. So you trust him in the short yardage and red zone and closing out games? That's like you feel comfortable?
First of all, the Eagles have already given us the clue.
Yeah.
The Cowboys were dumb for the last 6 years. Because I would have been quarterback and sneaking the hell out of Dak Prescott.
Oh my God, I'm gone. I don't want to hear no more.
Hey, we've been screaming that, Clarence. We all yell at the TV when it's short yardage.
It never makes no sense, especially the 3rd and 1. I mean, Dak Prescott is a mountain of a man. He was, one of the great stories about Dak Prescott. He was a fat boy. Okay, in 8th grade he was a fat. He talked about being a fat boy. He's still built like a fat boy. He got tree trunk legs. Everybody talking about strong Jalen Hurts is. Dak Prescott is strong. Okay, they should have already been sneaking him on those short yardage plays. And when they snuck him last year, when they put him out, did he ever fail? Did he ever fail last year when they did it?
I only seen him fail one time when they cheated him in that Patriots game with that over the top touchdown when the ball got
it's over the top. I'm talking about not when he go in the air.
Right.
He's on the ground.
Right.
When he just straight bully.
When he
play bully ball.
On the ground, he ain't never been stopped. And last year was a couple times we went, not just 1 or 2 yards, we went 15 or 20 yards. I mean, that's an unstoppable play with his size, and the NFL did not outlaw it. The Eagles have used it. Man, don't reinvent the wheel.
But
that's part of it. So you look at that short yardage game again. as I said, Tony Pollard is stronger than you think he is. You look at some of his numbers, and they just showed me some of his numbers. I don't have them with me.
Yeah.
You know, him in the short yardage game, but
Yeah.
but he is stronger than you think he is in doing that. And so he's going to be part of that. And just from all accounts, he's healthy, ready to go. He's well ahead of schedule. They're being cautious with him. There should be no setbacks with Tony Pollard when it comes to training camp.
Yeah. And I heard you say that on the Get Right. You talked about that Tony Pollard is looking like he's ahead of schedule. Obviously, we all happy that you're here because we get to get this inside information. I'm going to turn the corner to something else that came out from the Get Right. Again, this is courtesy from the Get Right on 105.3 The Fan, where they had Clarence Hill in as a visitor. We go try to go a little bit deeper, just a little bit. So here we go.
Clarence Hill Jr., the Fort Worth Star Telegram, joining us here on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105.3 The Fan. Speaking to some of those observations, what were other things that you tried to take away and glean from based on what you observed today?
You know, getting the offensive line. You know, Tyler Smith was at left tackle, sorry. And I talked to him afterward. He said he's done nothing but left tackle this entire offseason. He's got no work at guard. Tyler Smith was at right tackle. He's done nothing but right tackle this offseason. You know, certainly Terrence Steele is going to be a factor there, right tackle. But, you know, he's not ready to participate. He's still recovering from that torn ACL. And you see Matt Fornak was working with the starters at left guard, and he's alternating with Chuma Doga. Zach Martin in practice, so Josh Ball was over right tackle. But how they put that five together up front, they want to have the best five, and we'll see when Terrence Steele is ready to go how much guard he plays, because it looks like it's going to be Tyler, the two Smith boys at tackle. You know, whether you people like it or not. You know, I know a lot of Steele fans who think he's better than Tyron Smith and he should be the right tackle. They shouldn't be considering that. But that's where the Cowboys are leaning, you know. And again, Tyler Smith has not done any guard at all. He's done, and they're trying to keep him over there and leave him over there for the next 10 years. That's certainly the plan with him.
So, Clarence.
High five, OC. High five, OC.
Wait, no. Wait. Because see.
High five, OC.
Big.
Wait, because that was from OTAs.
Right. I was just getting ready to talk about that.
Of course, and that's what Tyler told me at OTAs.
Right.
He had done no guard at all.
Right.
In camp. Okay.
Right.
Of course, then we get the mini camp.
Right. And that's why I want to get the update. That's why I played that, because I want to get the updates.
We get the mini camp.
Yeah.
And they move him to left guard and have Tyler Smith at left tackle, and certainly, you know, let's go with the right tackle because you know certainly still Terrence Steele is still out.
Yeah.
You know, the plan is to play the best five.
Okay.
And so, you know, sports is fluid and your information is fluid and you can only go with the information you have that day and it changes. But, you know, they've always talked about, you know, and they still want to give Terrence Steele a look at guard. And so we'll see when he gets out there, if he gets a look at guard and how that goes. Common sense says your best five certainly is Tyler Smith at left tackle, Tyler Smith at left guard, Tyron Smith at left tackle, and Steele at right tackle. The big question I have, can you trust Tyron to stay
exactly.
up?
Boss, you know, so why you looking all in the camera?
If this is what you want to do, can you trust Tyron to stay up? It looks great on paper, but Tyron Smith has not been healthy since 2015. He's not played a full season. He's missed games every season. You look at the start of the last 3 seasons, he's missed more games than he's played.
Right.
You know, and so whatever the reason, whether it's a back, it's a neck, a hamstring, it's always something. And so is it wise, which is why a lot of people wanted them to go guard in the draft, the first round of the draft, and certainly go guard in free agency and get a starter there so you can play Tyler Smith at left tackle. Can you trust Tyron to stay healthy? He looks like a mountain of a man. He still looks big and imposing. He won't talk to the media, but he still looks big and imposing. But can you trust him to stay healthy? That's the question. And really the dirty little secret of last year, you know, everybody wants to point out Dak's interception, but the offensive line was bad.
Oh, yeah.
The offensive line was bad. It was one of the worst offensive lines the Cowboys have had in a long time. So that certainly affected some of the decisions he made as a passer, some of the throws he made, a lot of things. But the offensive line was bad last year.
Well, Clarence, I'm like you on this, and I'll tell you, I'm not a glass half full guy. I don't anticipate, as great as he's been, first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't anticipate Tyron Smith to stay healthy the whole year. So I think the Cowboys really need to have a strong contingency plan. And I think if he can last the first quarter of the season, that'll put us in an ideal situation, because you'll have at that time, in my opinion, Terrence Steele coming back off the PUP list and being ready to play that right tackle position. I just wanted to get your feedback on that. And I was also one of those guys, and me and Boss Cowboy as well, for sure, beating the table about drafting a guard/tackle, or at least drafting a strong guard in the first or second round, which we did not do.
Yeah. So the good news is, unlike Michael Gallup, you don't have to worry about Terrence Steele and his ACL. He doesn't have to move the same way. So he should be able to ready to go. It won't be a situation where, even Jabril Cox, where they couldn't move lateral, they couldn't be the best version of themselves. When Terrence Steele is ready to go, he'll be ready to go, and it won't be a situation where, he'll be better a year from now because of the ACL. It's different for offensive line. He's gonna certainly play with a brace. The thing about it is I think that the Cowboys do have contingencies. They really like, well, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And they like what they're trying with. They're trying everybody. They got, well, let's go. They got Josh Ball, certainly drafted Asim Richards, and the I can't even see. I'm trying to find the agency. Chuma Edoga. So so they do have some options there. If Tyler goes down, or Tyron goes down, have to move, Tyler back to left tackle and move someone into those other positions.
Yep.
But again, that's one reason why they changed the blocking scheme. Everybody talking about the West Coast offense and the philosophy change. One of the reasons why Mike McCarthy wanted to make the philosophy change and put more West Coast principles was the blocking scheme. He changed some of the blocking scheme. And so they can make better decisions and not have, and then create a better pocket for Dak, so Dak can be a better decision maker. But that all goes hand in hand. But that offensive line must be better. Again, we it's always go back to the Eagles, but the Eagles had the best offensive line in football last year. And that offensive line was certainly key to the running game and key to a lot of things that Jalen Hurts did. The Cowboys didn't. Dak was having to make stuff up in the pocket back there because of the leaks on that offensive line.
And Clarence, let me give a quick follow-up to that, since you got the inside lane on this, and I'll kick it off to the other guys. What is your feeling temperature about the left guard position? Do you think that Matt Farniok has the inside track to that? I know that Josh Ball played right tackle, left tackle. Now they're giving him a chance at guard. Who is the head dog, so to speak, going into training camp, in your opinion, for that position?
Well, it's not Farniok. It's not Farniok.
Okay.
It's certainly going to be. It's certainly going to be. That's a good looking picture there.
You like that? I touched you up a little bit. I gave you a little bit of touch up.
You did, man. You did.
He lost his train of thought.
Man, I got him looking good.
But it got to be. If all things, if the plan, if the Cowboys had their druthers, they would want Tyler Smith at left tackle and Tyron Smith at left tackle and Tyler Smith at left guard and Terrence Steele at right tackle. That's to me, that's your best five. And so that's what you want to do. And that's why the entire minicamp, forget OTA. When they went to minicamp, Tyler Smith was at left guard. And you're doing that for a reason. That's the first time they really were doing teamwork and a lot of stuff they were doing that they didn't do in OTAs. And when they got serious about minicamp, as they get ready to install the offense, get ready to training camp, the clue is that Tyler Smith was at left guard, not left tackle. He took no snaps at left tackle in minicamp. So that tells you a lot right there.
Talk to him, Clarence. Talk to him, Clarence.
Go ahead. It's on you.
Look, I agree. I've been saying that since the beginning. I'm not no offensive line guru, but you can have a contingency plan, but until Tyron Smith go down, he playing left tackle. It just is what it is. If you plan on moving on from him, you would have been did it already. So we gonna have to. This the bed we made. We got laying it.
Yep, we got laying it. What it is.
So my last follow.
Hey, you know what?
Man, you done had too many follows up. See, you ain't gonna keep cutting off people about. And my last one.
I just got a question. When y'all done? When y'all done, I got a question. When y'all done, I got a question.
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no, just real. No, seriously, this is my
No, you
last one.
good.
So
You
you're
good.
saying
I'm messing
you're
with you.
saying, Clarence, you think that Matt Walinsko is going to start off playing the right tackle because they like him. He's doing good. You know what I'm saying? Because we got Terrence Steele. He's probably not going to be ready for the start of the regular season. So you're saying that
Why do
Tyron
you,
Smith, left
why,
guard.
why,
But
why don't you think Terrence still gonna be ready for the start of the regular season?
because he got hurt at the end of the season and he's about 8 months out. If you start him in September, he's about 8 months out from an ACL. And in my opinion, from what I've seen, and like I said, I could definitely be wrong about this, and I'm hoping to be corrected. I don't think he'll be optimally ready to rock the first game of the season. That's just my opinion. But you tell me.
You know, I think that's why I tried to qualify there. I think it's different with an offensive lineman than it is with a receiver and a running back and a guy that it has all to do a lot of different things. I think that an offensive lineman, you know, he can come back at 10 months or whatever it is, you know, because he doesn't have to run, he doesn't have to cut and do all those things. He just has to have his base, and if the strength is there, you know, certainly I think he's going to start this, you know, camp on putt, but I think he should be ready by the start of by September.
Okay, cool.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good to hear.
Big, did you have something? Because I got something if you don't.
Oh, I got something, but it
Let's
ain't
go.
on no offensive line no more.
Go for it. No, go for it, man. We're freestyle. Go ahead.
Hey, you know, you be talking to Steven, Clarence, and so I need to know this. We talking about these contracts, right? So there's a lot of these, you know, that's the talk of the town right now. It's a lot of quiet on the front. You got Lamb, you got Diggs, you got Parsons coming up, and then you got this Dak situation. I'm wondering from your perspective on two players, Dak Prescott and Trevin Diggs. Number one, with Diggs, I've been having the feeling, just in my opinion, that he may be the one to get left out because the position he plays and the Cowboys don't really invest a ton of money in that cornerback position that hasn't seemed in a while. And then with Dak, is there a situation where they're talking about the extension because it's quiet on that front? His contract is coming up. You know, how are their feelings about that?
Let's just start with the easy one. Let's start with that.
Okay.
I mean, they've been talking about extending him since the end of the season. I mean, I don't think there's any pushback on Dak being the Cowboys quarterback.
Right.
You know, again, it takes two to tango. You know, his agent is good. He got him a great deal the last time. He got him a great deal again. And even Dak and Steven talked about it. You know, we're not going to publicly, you know, negotiate this thing. You know, we're going to wake up one day and the deal may be done. You know, and that's kind of how they want to do it. But there's no question inside the organization that there's no question that they want to move forward with Dak Prescott. They do want to extend him. They do want him to be the Cowboys quarterback for the next 10 years. Now, obviously, until you do it, it ain't done. You know, he gets hurt, whatever. He throws 100 interceptions. You don't get a deal done. Anything can happen. But that's the plan. They want to get Dak done, and because of that $59 million cap figure he has next year, it's something they need to get done because they do want to get Pollard and some not Pollard, but Parsons and some of these other guys done. And so part of getting those guys done is taking care of Dak and fixing his number, which is going to be a $59 million cap figure in 2024. Getting back to, I think that when you say Diggs is the odd man out, I think that if they don't get Diggs done, he's the guy who can get the franchise tag next year.
That's news. Hold on.
You know, I said if he don't get him done, certainly they want to get him done, but you know,
I'm just
obviously
saying, Diggs don't look like a player that'll be too happy on the franchise tag. That might be a big thing.
Yeah,
let me get that done.
He don't strike me as that type either.
Well, his brother don't. We'll see what he does.
But they kick it real hard, Clarence.
Right, and we know how that goes. Like little brother, like big brother.
Now.
You know, we know how that goes, Clarence.
No. Little brother ain't like big brother. Little brother don't talk. Big brother loves to talk.
Okay.
Them the ones you gotta watch out for, though. Them the ones you gotta watch out for, Clarence.
Know that.
But the Cowboys want to get one or two of them done. CD, Diggs, or
but what's your personal feelings though? I want to know your personal
Man,
feelings.
it's
Do you
it's
think
a
Diggs is
conflict.
going to get left out?
I mean, left out. You know, I think they want to keep Diggs. I don't think he's going to not be here. You know, it's just a matter of how they make the money work. You just because everybody tells they don't pay cornerbacks. Well, they haven't had somebody that took the ball away since Deion Sanders.
Right.
They didn't.
Right.
They didn't play Jones because he didn't take the ball away.
Right.
You could pay him. He was a good cornerback, but he got no interceptions. He got to get his hands on the ball. Diggs gets in, catches the ball. Now I need him to have a better game than that against the 49ers. Now I'm just gonna tell you, everybody kicked Dak's butt, but Diggs could have changed that game twice.
Yeah. Ooh.
He didn't tackle that tight end.
You're not lying.
It didn't touch the tight end. And he dropped that pick. That was a breadbasket pick that could change the whole game. He didn't do that. I need my $25 million cornerback to make one of those plays.
Yeah.
You know what though? That's what will come up in them negotiations. He ain't lying. They be like,
I put okay. Clarence,
but Diggs takes the ball away. They love Diggs. They love how he played. He certainly played more physical last year than the year before, and he's going to continue to improve in that area.
Clarence, I know you said that we kind of glass half empty guys. No, we're not.
You're full. You're a fan, though. Fans got to be positive.
No, we don't be positive like that,
like
dog. You're going to have to watch the channel.
Trust me.
We don't be positive like that. Don't do that.
No.
We are not like that.
No,
that's why keep it real.
That's why what I'm getting ready to talk to you about, because I'm going to need you to talk me off a cliff. I'm dead serious, too. I have a concern. Maybe you could talk me off this cliff. I'm looking at the fact that Mike McCarthy has been talking about wanting to have a run identity, right? And everybody that we've talked through, we talked to a lot of the media this week. Most have a concern with running back. You didn't, and I think you raised a good point on that QB sneak. Very good answer, right? Common sense football. But then, obviously, offensive line is a concern. We go start the season with his number one identity having 2 holes in it. What's your thoughts on that, and can you calm me down?
2 holes? What do you mean 2 holes?
So,
what 2 holes in?
So
you saying running back and offensive line are holes?
Well, I'm saying points is holes, in my opinion. I feel like, and I think the Cowboys know that too. Because, like you said, they've been looking for a power back. You can't look for a power back unless you think you have a power need. We don't have power backs in the building except for Jones, and we have Hunter. But you're right, we got to see how that work out. But that makes me say that it's at least a concern, right? That's why I said that's why your answer was good on that. But like most of the people you see what I'm saying?
Let's back up now.
Okay.
A lot of people took McCarthy's "I want to run the ball" like he can run the ball 30 times a game. I think McCarthy was really talking about being smarter when they run the ball.
Yeah.
When you got double
management, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you got double-digit leads, don't blow those leads by trying to throw the ball and manage the game. That's what I mean. This is 2020. This is a passing league. Your best playmakers. CD and Cooks and certainly Dak. You're going to use your weapons. And you score by passing the ball. Even some of the best plays that Pollard made was catching the ball out of the backfield. So don't think that Mike McCarthy is going to. But don't think that Mike McCarthy is going to hand the ball off. And do it. That's not the plan. He's talking about situational running.
Okay.
And being better at situational running. When you got in Green Bay, you got double-digit leads and protecting his defense and doing that sort of thing. That's what he's going to be better at. Certainly, you have questions, and your questions are valid about the offensive line. The question is, you got a better offensive line coach. You got a new offensive line coach. You do have options that you trust, some young options there. You drafted. Do you trust Will McClay and those guys? And they drafted Lesko, and you trust them that Josh Ball's been there a couple of years. He's gonna get stronger, be better. Can those guys come and give you something that you can believe in? So obviously those are projections. Again, those are projections. Right. And so but they like what they're working with. They like the clay they're working with. And so you know, a lot of people are down on McCarthy because you know it's funny to me because I don't think McCarthy gets the credit for being the coach he is.
Talk to
And,
us.
and a lot of people don't. I mean, the guys. I mean, you don't just wake up and go 12-5, 12-5.
Oh,
Certainly this Cowboys team, don't wake up and go 12-5, 12-5. You know,
Right.
Not since the 90s.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You know, I don't care who been the coach. Not since the 90s, you don't wake up and go 12-5, 12-5. And it's not easy to do.
Right.
And he don't get credit for that. The idea that this man is 12-5, 12-5, and he can also have a chance to make the playoffs for a third straight year, yet he's coaching for his job. It's kind of crazy.
It is.
It's factual. It's factual. but it's kind of crazy. But the man is you know, one thing he talked about, and I do like what he said, is that the way to break through is to continually get there.
Yeah.
Repeatedly get there. You know, the Cowboys in the past couldn't break through because they'd be in the playoffs one year, then they're out the playoffs. They go 10 or 15, you know, in the playoffs. But it's not a nervous situation when you're continually there, when you're back. So yes, they had the horrible game, you know, in 2021. 2022, you know, they had that big playoff game. Certainly they were not nervous going to Tampa Bay, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't think they were nervous in San Francisco. They may have been nervous. And one thing I kick his butt over because I go back to that San Francisco game in 2021 when he said, and they tried to put it back in his mouth, but he said he felt the team was nervous before the game.
Yeah.
And you know, those were his words.
Yep, that was his words.
And to me, if you sense your team is nervous, I'm shaking the goddamn rafters in that locker room.
Right.
And wake the hell up. This is for real. You can't. I'm not letting you walk out there nervous and not feeling your best. I'm gonna do something about that. And so I think if you look at this season, and again, you got to give a man credit. I mean, you lose your quarterback for 5 games, you still go 12-5. You go with a backup quarterback, you go 4-1. You put that in many other cities, that don't happen.
Oh,
you put that around here many years, that don't happen.
Right.
Understated. We lost 2
Especially
corners.
with Cooper Rush. Especially with Cooper Rush.
That don't happen. Yes. You know, they did a good job of managing that situation.
We lost mad people.
Yes, and that don't happen. So I don't think he gets enough credit for managing his team. I think he had them ready to play, and certainly coaches was not the reason they lost in San Francisco. You know, losing. You know, I think I would say this. I'm blue in the face. The front office let them down. They let Amari Cooper go. You know, and I don't care if they had the same record. That team was less talented in 2022 than it was in 2021. You know, and you didn't have any weapons. And certainly when Pollard got hurt, you only had one weapon out there on the field against the 49ers.
Yes.
That anybody was scared of. And if they did not adequately replace Amari Cooper, you know, and it showed.
That was our biggest concerns. I agree. They tried to play the I don't want to call it the cheap game, but they tried to just use they didn't get the proper resources, and it came back to bite us at the worst time.
There's no doubt. And certainly, you know, it worked on defense when they let Randy Gregory go and they filled in with other guys, but it did not work on offense. And at least the guys you filled in with Randy Gregory were proven guys. You know, with Dante Fowler, you drafted the guy, you know, and certainly you had some guys that can make plays, and certainly you know, DeMarcus Lawrence played a full season for the first time in a long time. So you had some people to make up for that, but a receiver, and again, we know just like we talked about Terrence Steele, but we know common sense. We've been following football a long time. I knew that Michael Gallup was not going to be himself.
Right.
I knew that. For them to act like it was going to be fine, we got Gallup coming back after 3 games. No. And again, to rely on Tobin, who had been set back and been a disappointment going back to mini camp and training camp, I mean, it was just folly. And so you know, when Noah Brown is one of your top 2 receivers, you know, for much of the year, you got to rely on him on third down. I mean, too many passes to Noah Brown.
Way too many.
Basically, we went out there with a spades hand. One in the possible.
And you reneged when it mattered most.
Clarence, are we good on time? Are we okay?
Yeah, we good.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, because I want to make sure, because I had a culture question. Because I'm from Dallas. So I know the gravity of what you're saying on this. No Cowboys have been in the news since the end of minicamp. See, because I went to Dallas Carter, right? I was here with you when you first landed here in '97, right? And I remember primetime 21. I remember the White House, right? I put it like this: I played with K-Dub, little brother, you know.
Right.
So so kind of give us the depths of what you're saying with the quietness that's going on.
I think it's twofold. Because and I don't think it's just this year, but I think the Cowboys have had some good guys for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember coming to the locker room with Mike Irvin, like, that's why y'all can't win. Y'all ain't nothing but y'all all soft. you know. It's like, there's a thought process that you can't win with good guys.
It's
The
true.
problem is with them bad boys get suspended down on the field, but
Clarence got some stories. You can't tell them today, but Clarence got some stories. I can hear it already.
I can see.
It's just because I remember when me and Mike talked about it, but you can't have that mentality that Mike them had off the field and win in the NFL today because you won't be on the field,
right?
And so, but by and large, if you look at this team, you may have had some David Irving incidents and some one or two things. Certainly, they brought in Randy Gregory. I'm not Randy Gregory. They did bring in Randy Gregory, but they brought in Greg Hardy. But by and large, obviously, the unfortunate situation with the DUI death. But the Cowboys have had good players and they have good character guys. And most of the guys are leaders and good character guys. And you look at, I was kind of being facetious a little bit because because I tweet about everything else. I was looking for something to tweet about the Cowboys. Like we ain't had no news. And it's a good thing because I don't really anticipate,
right.
When you got leaders like DeMarcus Lawrence and Dak Prescott and Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb and none of these guys are guys that are going to go out there and get in trouble. They certainly ain't going to do what Tyreek Hill did, hit somebody in the back of the head, on a boating incident, which, the same day that Tyreek, is getting investigated for hitting somebody on the back of the head, which is stupid. You don't have any guys that just do stupid stuff.
Right.
You got some young guys, certainly, Sam Williams had the little car situation last year, driving fast, but you don't really have any bad guys. And I think that's a testament to the type of people they're bringing in. Certainly, it's a testament to the league of today. It's not like it was. Players know that if you get in trouble, you ain't going to play. Huh?
What'd you say, Ron?
Mike McCarthy with that?
I think it goes back to Jason Garrett too. I mean, you look at the guys that Jason Garrett brought in; they really weren't like that, And you didn't have any. Again, he didn't bring any bad guys in there, and I think it Will McClay, all those guys, but certainly, they all get credit for it. But this is not the bad boy Cowboys. The bad boy Cowboys in the '90s. I'll never forget. If not for the quote unquote bad boy Cowboys and Jerry Jones, cowering to the media attention that the bad boy Cowboys are getting, Brandon Moss would be a Cowboy. And they may have won another Super Bowl during Aikman era. But the reason why they didn't draft Randy Moss was because of the bad boy Cowboys. And Chan Gailey didn't want him, and all of this other craziness. It's a Hall of Famer.
Clarence. Oh, man. So just real quick, I do want to move to something a little personal to me. And one of the reasons I'm excited to have you, Clarence, and Rome on, okay? I got two boys, and I'm going to want to lead them in the right way, okay? One day they go to college. One day they go probably ask me, Daddy, what fraternity, right? So you think I'm playing? I'm serious. Hear me out. Because, see, when I was in Houston, I did notice that the guys that was the business professionals was the Kappas. The guys that's with the attorneys in Houston was the Alpha. See, I see you ready to set trip. But then when I look up in Dallas and I look at the people that's making it happen in the media through their own ways, it's them Qs. He looked like Rome. That's Newey. He looked like Rome, right? Did he look just like Rome? But I'm just looking at the talent level from Can I call you guys the Qs? Can I call you guys the Qs? I want to be respectful. I don't know what's disrespectful.
All good.
When I'm
That's
looking at
fine.
what the Qs are doing in the media, and if my son is like, all right, daddy, what do I, and he seemed like he might have, like, tell me about why are you guys kind of seeming to have such a gift for the media? Because y'all are killing it. Like from social media with Rome, because he's humble. He not gonna brag on himself, but he killing it. And then what y'all doing? So I just wanted to kind of just step back. We got a lot of Qs in the house too. I see y'all in the house. What's up, y'all? I want to just hear from that and just get y'all perspective on that before we give our final words.
Go ahead.
I'll go first and be quick because you know what I'm saying I got to defer to Clarence. You know what I'm saying, proper protocol. But
that's what's up. That's dope. I like it.
No, but you know what I'm saying? I think it's just one of those things where, you know what I mean, Omega men, they just pride themselves on being thorough and to be good in anything, including media. You know what I'm saying? You want to be thorough in anything you do. It's about preparation. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you perform, but it's definitely just about passion and putting it into your craft, and whether it's like what I do, which is a lot different than what Clarence does, but you still want to put passion into it and give it your all. And that's a big thing with Omega. You can't do nothing without passion. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where you kind of see that bleed through into the profession or into like, you know what I'm saying, what I do on my end. It's just a lot of passion goes into what you do because you take pride in it. So I think that's where it comes from. And that's why you see, brothers in Omega, whatever they make, whatever industry they're in, you know what I'm saying, you'll see a lot of passion in what they do because that's something we pride ourselves on.
Appreciate that, Ron.
I agree with everything you said. Rome, what year you pledged?
Oh, 2005.
Okay. So I'm 84. So that's why he said protocol.
I love that too. I love the respect. I love that was dope. I love it, man.
I'm old school. I'm OG. But I would say this, and everything he said was right on about, certainly our passion, energy, enthusiasm. We all about that. Manhood, scholarship, perseverance. We take care of business. I would say this, that I think that all the organizations, as far as advice to your son, you got to find what fits you.
Yes.
And what fits him and what fits his personality. There are a lot of great men in Kappa and Alpha who are in media. Brian Custer, one of my good friends, he's a Kappa. And so there are a lot of alphas in local TV media around here. That's my daughter picking in. But
that's cool.
But
I love it.
So so there are a lot of great men in all the organizations. We're all founded based on similar principles, about high achievement and manhood, and certainly taking care of our community, and certainly on the college campus, being a social and civil outlet for the student organizations, and certainly trying to bond men of like interests, and that's what we do. I'm a legacy. And my dad's a Q, I'm a Q, and my son's a Q, and it's family, and I wear a lot of Omega stuff.
I see.
I always tell people, because I'm gonna, a lot of people wear Nike, they wear Tiger Woods hats, they're gonna wear Under Armour, they're gonna wear Calvin Klein. They're not getting paid for that. You see all those hats, whatever else, I'm gonna wear a Q hat. I'm gonna put up the bros. That's what I'm gonna do.
You know what it is.
So I'm certainly gonna do that. But yeah, I mean, I think that have your son find what fits him best. And I'm always pump up Omegas and what we do and how we take care of business. And there are a lot of Omega lawyers now. Don't talk about the Capitals and Alphas being lawyers. We got Ben Crump. When we got Ben Crump.
Okay, all right. I appreciate it. I sure
we got
do.
Ben Crump, doing what he's doing, and so. But I mean, it's all over, man. Again, I love it. It's a passion of mine. I'm going to always be enthusiastic and energetic about my fraternity, but. I'm like that with anything I'm passionate about, whether it's the the Texas Longhorns or hating on them Lakers. You know.
Yeah, I love it how you give it to them late.
Love that
I
part,
think that's what
Clarence,
my
right
boy
there.
Law
Hating
Nation
on
out
them
here right
Lakers.
now. Law Nation
Hating
should
on
have
them
been in
Lakers.
here, man. We've been waiting on my boy
Right.
Law Nation, man. We've been.
Feel me? They gave him the business on that one.
Boy, you be killing them Lakers. I love it.
I just don't like Lakers fans in Oak Cliff, man. I'm like, come on,
It
man.
don't make no sense, do it,
Root for
Clarence?
your
Make
own
no
team,
sense.
man.
What are you doing?
Root for your own team, man.
Man,
Root for
what
your
are
own
you-
team.
Talk that talk. All right,
Yeah,
so-
he's trying to save from Natchez.
So this last part we call the final word. So what we do is we go around, we give our final thoughts. But before we do that, I'm gonna sneak in one more question. Who your breakout guys?
Can you call Brandon Cooks a breakout guy?
I love it. I love it.
Brandon Cooks gonna make an
Tell us
impact.
why.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah.
Brandon Cook can pick him up and put him down. That boy can run.
Ooh, yeah.
See, you right, Clarence.
See, I want to get that. I want to see because I want to get that. I want to see because he been out there. He been watching.
He's new to the team, but he you know, so I would call him a breakout guy. But you know, he's had these 1,000-yard seasons with 4 different teams. I mean, the guy can play. The guy can run. He's having an impact on everybody. And they haven't had a guy that can take the top off the defense since when?
Ooh, wee.
When last time they had a guy this fast?
Hey, look how Clarence looked up and you can't really think like, who was the last?
Yeah.
I mean, I go back to the Terry Glenn,
Right.
Terry Glenn and Joey Galloway.
But he was
Cowboys.
he got hurt. Both of them were hurt.
They haven't had a guy, that can run like this. The guy can pick him up and put him down, as the old folks say.
All right. So
I just like his demeanor. I like when they was talking to him. He probably was there talking.
Leadership.
You right. You hear me, big game? Like he just sound like he in a stage of his career. Like he's just happy to be where he can contribute not only with teaching but with playing. Like I just like it.
Yep.
Q's in here showing love, throwing $20. I'm letting y'all know I'm not sharing that with them though. I'm just letting you know. No, I'm gonna share. I promise you, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share.
Stop lying. No, you ain't. Just keep it real.
I promise you, I'm gonna share. I promise
Stand
you.
on 10 toes.
Ain't wrong with that. Ain't wrong with
Stand on it.
That 20 is there for a reason. Ain't wrong with that. Somebody else put up.
I know what that is too.
Somebody else put up. Did I know Henry Maddox? That was my college roommate. He actually came and did a crawfish boil for my daughter's graduation 2 weeks ago. So yeah, Henry's my college roommate.
That's B Bird out of Galveston.
Yeah, he from Texas City. That's right there.
Man.
Law Nation is in the building.
Hey, man.
Law
Hey,
Nation
that's
is
a party,
in the
baby. Hey, there's a party when I come on up in here.
Hey, Law, we was just finna give our final words, bro. So we go pause and let you solo.
At the same time, I come in at the tail end of it. But hey, Clarence, man, I just wanted to shout out to you, man. To give you a shout out, man, to the people, man. They've been listening over here. And shout out to y'all, man, for the wonderful episode. The OC, appreciate you. Cowboy Fan Talk, appreciate you, Ron. Big Game James and Paul's Cowboy.
Sir.
I'm gonna sit back in the cut, man.
No. Clarence, can you take just one more question from my boy Law? Just one more. Okay. We just been. Go ahead, Law. Yeah.
Oh well, who's your surprise? Did y'all say that already? Who's your surprise guy?
I did that one.
He already did that one.
Yeah, I did that one.
Give it on defense, Clarence. Give it on defense.
Yeah, give it on the defensive side.
Sam Williams.
I think Sam Williams in for a breakout season for sure. There's no question about Sam. He was ready to take it to the next level. But don't be don't sleep on. They really like. There's two rookies they really like. They really like my boy from Texas. Overshawn. And Fihoko, the rookie out of
Junior
San Jose State.
Okay. Junior Fihoko.
Yeah, Dan Quinn loves him. He thinks he can be a Pro Bowl player.
I'm walking away.
Oh, wow.
I ain't saying the rookie. I didn't say the rookie, but he really loves him. He was standing on the table for Fihoko.
What about my guy from Mississippi, man, Eric Scott Jr.? What he been doing?
Eric Scott's done well. I mean, he got run with the first team. I mean, when the corner when Gilmore wasn't there, and when Diggs was out. It was Eric Scott running with the first team.
Why not
Boss
Kelvin
man
Joseph?
Fat.
What was going on with
Exactly.
Hey,
Kelvin?
that's a big
Talk to
deal.
me,
That's
man.
a
What's
big
going on with
deal.
Kelvin
Come on, man.
Joseph, man?
Stop it, man.
Come
You
on,
already
man.
know
Come on,
Lord
talk to me,
got
man.
4 questions in there.
He said
Lord
stop.
got 4
I'm getting
questions in
that
there. Go,
man.
Lord.
Come on, man.
Speaking of no plays, speaking of not making no plays, it's time. Stop.
It's
Speaking
over.
of not making no plays.
It's
He ain't
over.
making no
Joseph,
play.
what has he done since he's been here?
Ooh.
Oh,
Rap.
special teams guy. You know, he forced that fumble on the
So your second round pick is a special teams guy.
Oh, that sounds bad too. Yeah.
And there it is. And there it is. And there it is.
All right, so we go get into the final words. Ooh. All right. Ooh. Let me sit back on this. Clarence, it was fun. I don't know when we gonna do this again, but we got to. We have to.
Let me jump in on this one right here then. Clarence, when you gonna be out there in Oxnard?
We get there on the 24th.
24th. So when me and Boss, when we out there, we gonna take good care of you at least one night.
Listen, that's okay. Just let me know.
All right, there it is. We gonna take care of
See,
you.
there it is.
We
See,
gonna
that's how
take care of you
do
too.
that.
Real talk now. We gonna treat you like a king. We gonna come out there. We gonna open up the whole, shrimp, lobster, steak.
We can do.
What's your favorite drink?
He might be a Crowns guy though.
He a Brown, because when I met you, we was both sipping on Brown. So
I'm gonna drink some Crown. I'm gonna drink some Crown. Some Hennessy. I'm gonna drink some Crown. Make us
Y'all on the crap. Y'all on the wrong thing, man.
My bad.
And when Jerry is buying, I'm drinking that Johnny Walker Blue.
Ooh, talk that talk. I like how you snuck that in there too. When Jerry is buying, so y'all need to get on my level. See, Jerry buys me drinks.
Get your damn act together.
Jerry buys me drinks. So who are you?
Jerry.
Hey, real quick, boss.
Well, go ahead, yeah.
Hey, boss. You said 2 legends earlier. There's 2 legends on here now. Because Law here.
Yeah.
And Clarence.
Oh, appreciate you, man.
Yes,
No,
sir.
that's
Appreciate
like,
you, man.
no.
Yes, sir.
Clarence, we call him 100K
100K.
Law. That's 100K Law. He was
Law.
the first.
Man, appreciate
So,
it.
and he's a.
That's all right.
Yeah, so anyway, he was the first independent YouTuber that does content for the Dallas Cowboys to hit 100K. So,
Appreciate
That
it,
is
man.
awesome. I share all y'all stuff. So
Oh, thank you, Clarence.
Appreciate you.
and let the Cowboy fan know when you follow me, you get all of me. You're not just gonna get football. I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some humor. I'm gonna give you some. Some Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna give you a little bit of everything. You'll get all of them. Everybody, you're racist. You're racist.
Hey, well, you wild. Yeah, he had a wild follower, man.
You're racist. Because I point out racism.
Get your damn act together.
Love it.
Right.
Handle the truth.
You want answers?
Yes. Don't.
You gonna
If you
get out.
don't want answers,
There are a lot of-
don't follow Clarence.
There are a lot of
quick.
Cowboy fans out there, so you know.
Hey, quick advice.
lot.
Quick advice for Zion Williams. There, what's your advice for that, brother?
All right, let me get into these final words.
We ain't never get out.
We ain't gonna get out
Come
if
in
I
here
don't
with
start
all
the
this
final word.
energy.
We ain't gonna get out of here if we don't start the final word. All right, here we go. I'm gonna be honest. I one of my content creation, mama, I made it moments was one time, and I'm just being honest, like being transparent, because I look up to Clarence. Everybody, we know who Clarence is that follow the Cowboys. Rome and I was sitting in a Twitter space, right? And Clarence was hosting it. And, obviously because he's an insider, we go in and we go listen to him, because he go likely lay out some nuggets. And he said, Rome, boss.
I feel bad.
Right? And I was like, Clarence talking to me? Right? I'm just being honest. I'm being honest, you know. I said, Clarence talking to me? Right? He said, boss, Rome, CFT. Then he made both of us speakers in the space. So I still didn't want to say nothing. I'm just being honest, because, it's kind of like respect your elders, right? Community thing. Like, you don't want to just jump in, And he said, what's your thoughts? And I gave my opinion on something. And then, before I finished, what felt good is Clarence said, man, I follow you, man, and I follow Rome and the OC. Y'all doing good work. And I was shocked. I was like, huh, and it just meant something to me. That's my final word, is just to say thank you for just even showing us love. And,
there's some snootiness to our business, and some people, don't want to respect what y'all do. But this is 2023, age of the internet. I mean, everybody got their own platform. Everybody got opinions. You can do your thing, and there's space for everybody. And certainly you guys have carved the niche, and you have a space and growing the audience. And if you got an audience, then obviously people want to hear what you got to say.
Yes, sir.
And people respect what you got to say. So again, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate it. OC, what you got on your final word, big dog?
Yeah, man. So no, Mr. Clarence Hill, thanks so much for coming into the building with us, man, and spending some time with us. One of the things that our super duper respect, man, is that almost at every press conference, man, you talk about being real. You ask that hard question that everybody's thinking about, but nobody really wants to ask. You know what I'm saying? I can hear his voice every single time, 10 toes down every time. So, man, I respect the realness. Man, thank you so much for rocking with us. Great talking content with you, and hopefully I get a chance to meet you, man. We'll get a chance to hang out soon.
That's a fact. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for talking with us, man. I'm like Boss. I'm humbled. I'm appreciative. The funny thing about that story is I fell asleep on that space. Boss had to hit me up the next day and be like, "Yo, why you didn't say anything?" And I was like, "Oh, what was happening?" And he was like, "Yo, you fumbled the ball." I was like, "I did," and I didn't even know what. So, I gotta keep it real.
That's my boy. CFT.
I gotta keep it real. I was hurt because I was like, "Oh, my chance." I ain't know what to say. So that's real. So I gotta keep it real.
That's real. That's why I love you,
I still was hyped. He's like, "Yo, he called you by name." I was like, "He did?" And then he's like, "You ain't say nothing." I was like, "I was asleep." But so that's real.
Yeah, that's 100.
As far as I just wanted to share something. I talked about something earlier. I'm gonna keep it real short. The Cowboys is the only team I know that can add a top 10 player in Stephon Gilmore and no one not blink an eye. It hit me earlier that we added him to the team, and I'm seeing all these, this is list season, and all these lists is coming out and top 100 this and everything like that. And Stephon Gilmore's still getting this recognition, and they act like he's not even on the Cowboys. It's almost like recognition without associating them with our team. And I'm like, yo, not only did we get him, we got him for like a fifth.
Right.
So it's kind of like they just don't want to give recognition to our front office, which I know is a hard thing to do. They don't want to acknowledge the fact that our defense got exponentially better by adding that player. And it's just kind of made me smile. Like, they do this to themselves every year where they downplay us and then they're surprised. Like, how do they keep going 12-5? Because we got an excellent team.
Right.
So this is going to be another year where they're going to downplay us, and I don't know how they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to blink and look up and like, they won 13, 12 games?
Yep.
How'd that happen? So I just want everybody that has reticence and nervousness about the season to just realize that you got a good team to start with, and we loaded up the clip this offseason.
Right.
So that's easy. We about the ball. That's
love it. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, my final word is this: be short. I appreciate Clarence coming on here. I ain't gonna lie. I'm honored. I've been, following you ever since I was young, and the fact that some of the things I never thought, some things I would ever do with the Cowboys. Meet some players. Talk to former players. Talk to people in the media. So the fact that I'm able to hear and sit here, talk to you, chop it up with you is an honor on myself. And the biggest thing I take from this today, Clarence, is how open you were with us. You jumped right in. You came in just talking and chopping it up with us like it was nothing. And I think that's what stands out to me. You didn't come in no up. You just came right in and just been showing us love. And I really like that. I appreciate that. And definitely want to see you come back on because I love the candidness that you really brought to the show today. That's what really jumped out to me and just felt really good. Thank you. And just like what Rome said, appreciate you coming on here, Rome, too. You know what I'm saying? I respect the hell of what you're doing over there. But just like you said, it's our time, dog. A lot of people keep on saying, yeah, y'all say that every year, but it's our time, dog. It's time to shut these naysayers up and finally do this, man, and take what's rightfully ours. That's my final word.
Clarence, what's your final word?
Bill.
I can hear you. Okay. Man, I came here being real with y'all because that's who I am. I'm real, and I try to keep it real, and I keep it real on the Cowboys, and I hear what you guys are saying regarding it's your year, Cowboys' year. The schedule will be tougher than last year.
No, that's real.
You may not go 12-5. You know, but I think you're a playoff team, and again, we all know it's a shame, but you know what matters. What happens in the playoffs? This team will be judged by that. It's been 27 years. It's going to be 28 years since you've been to the NFC Championship game, since you've been to the Super Bowl. It's wide open. You know, there's no big bad wolf out there. You know, there's no Hall of Fame quarterback in your wake. You know, and people say People say, can Dak get there? Of course he can get there. You know, Jalen Hurts got there. Brock Purdy could have. People thinking he can get there. You know, people think, Jared Goff can get there. I mean, of course Dak can get there. You still have to have the right people around him. But I think they do have a better team around him to get there. But once you get there, you got to make it happen. You know, I go back to the 92 Cowboys. You know, that wasn't a year. They were a year away. But that team was winners. And winners make it happen. So I go back to the 2006 Cowboys. And I know you guys love Tony Romo, but you can't drop that snap.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, winners make their own opportunity. You know, champions make their own opportunity. And the Cowboys have been encouraged, whether it's the snap or the Dez Bryant. I mean, it was always something that stopped them from reaching, their potential. And so this Cowboy team, who's going to step up and say, I don't care what the odds say, I don't care what's going on, I'm going to make it happen like those 90s Cowboys did in 1992 when they were a year away and they became champions. Somebody has to step up, and, no matter what the situation is, and get that done.
Number 11.
Law, before you give your final word, and thank you, Clarence.
Yeah, it's a good one right there.
Everybody, y'all take a second and hit like on everybody's channel. There's way too many people watching. We have literally over 1,000 people watching right now from multiple channels. That's a lot of people watching for us to have the like ratios to where it is. It should be way more likes. So obviously we're not lecturing y'all and fussing at y'all, but listen, y'all just got y'all a fire guest.
Yeah.
He gave y'all quality content. He talked to your sons, told them how to pick a fraternity.
I'm gonna have to rewind and get all of that good stuff, man.
Gave you the truth on Jasmine. Yeah. Oh man, let me get off of that. Let me just get off of that. Anyway, but go ahead, Law, on your final words, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, and we greatly appreciate it on everybody's channel. And like, share, and subscribe.
No doubt, no doubt. So, man, it's a pleasure of hearing your voice, Clarence, man. I was watching you before the beard was here, man. So, and
that beard is in. Are you dyeing that beard? Are you dyeing? I mean, it looks like you got some dye in there.
Oh no, man! When y'all get by my age, I tell you, man.
You didn't answer that question, Law. Did you put some just for me in that thing?
No, man. You know I got Choctaw and Cherokee mixed up in this, man. It's just that Cherokee stuff, man. You know I can split it. But hey, man, I know that you guys had a great time and not a good time tonight, and I just hate that I missed it. So, Clarence, man, we're gonna have to circle this back, man. Once again, man, you got to figure out some timetables, man, so we can get off in here and talk some of this good football stuff again. And I really appreciate you, man, what you do out there for the Twitter community too. Unapologetic, man. You get out there and you spit your mind. Right. And they be sitting there, they be wanting to say something. They talk boldly on Twitter, but when they see you in the physical form, they be like, oh man, hey man, how you doing? And I seen that happen. And keep doing your thing, man. We look up to you, man. And for you to be on the show with us is amazing. I mean, I coined the thought that, hey, we out here grinding for the nation, but man, you've been grinding for the nation before I was even born. Before my guy the OC was here before Boss Cowboy was here.
I was actually here. I was here.
You was here. Big game.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I was in high school when he started, though.
Oh, you was in high school when he started?
Matter of fact, I was in college.
Did you grow up a Cowboy fan, though?
What? Don't play with me, Law. Come on now.
Clarence? Let's talk about Clarence. Did he grow up a Cowboy fan?
Oh yeah, I mean I did. I grew up in small town Texas, you know, and you know, I grew up in, you know, so I mean, yeah, me and my dad were Cowboy fans. But I will say this, that, you know, I don't cover them like a fan, and sometimes when you watch, you know, I don't know if you ever seen sausage being made. You don't want to always like to taste the sausage, but I don't, you know, so because they don't always like to see you coming. You know, when people don't want you to do your job, you know, it takes some of that off of that. You know, they don't want you to do your job. When people physically try to stop you from doing what you're doing, and, you know, I have no agendas. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, cover Cowboys. I like sports. I love sports. I grew up, you know, wanting to do. And I always tell people that just, you know, unless when I speak to people and speak to students, you know, I always talk about, you know, my goal, and I love football and I love sports and I love the Cowboys, and I hope to be Tony Dorsett. My goal was to be a running back at Texas Stadium, you know, and sometimes life does not end up like you want it to be. It ends up like it's supposed to be. I was never good enough to be Tony Dorsett, but but every Sunday at Texas Stadium, now AT&T Stadium, I'm working right about the Cowboys. So it's a different version of the same dream.
Dope.
That's dope. That's man.
Love
it. I ain't gonna keep y'all long, man. That's my final word. I'm gonna cut it off right there because I can go on. I got all of this energy over here. So we'll see you out there in Oxnard, Clarence. And
for sure.
Let's go, Cowboy Nation.
3, 2, 1, drop it.
And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best.
Go Skrill, drop it hard.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, all right. Clarence the OJ.
Another one. Appreciate you, Clarence, and thank you so much, CFT.
Yeah, I just wanna run it up. Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah.
Good show, fellas.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
I'm about to rewind for your mind. Y'all guys do the same thing.
Lately, I just wanna
Fun show.
run
I
it
knew it was
up.
gonna be fun, man. We got the right people in here. I knew it.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same.
Good chemistry.
Roll my change, take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Rabbit now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with J, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty.
One boy say, he ain't wanna stop. Why you stop? You gotta be Curtis. You know what I mean? I gotta be Curtis. I ain't trying to.
Did you like Darren?
Don't wear out your welcome. He came in. I ain't trying to work. You know, he showed us love, but good question. Good question.
I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.